Hi everybody, today we're just going to be looking at a few obscure records, something a bit unusual. I'm going to start with this little piece which lasts about 40 seconds. What was that? It was actually a recording on Studio G. Now, Studio G are a famous, well, if you know that kind of thing, library label. And this is one of our first. You very rarely see anything like this. This is a one-sided disc for Everest cigarettes. And you can tell they've obviously filmed it already and they've put the music to it, a sudden change in the middle. It's a little bit like the Hamlet adverts, where things all go wrong and it's a bit hectic, and then all of a sudden, just take it easy, have a Hamlet. It's actually written, composed by John Gale, who was the founder of Studio G. And it's hardly anything that he actually composed himself, so that's an unusual little find. Anyway, this is just going to be some obscure stuff for different reasons. Some is going to be based on the music, some is based on the covers, some is based on, well, we'll see as we go. This is Beethoven Scenarios Volume 1, Eric Hope. The reason I'm showing this, and what makes it slightly unusual, is this label, Delise. It's founded, the only label, actually, or first label to be founded by a woman, Isabella Wallach, in the 60s. Lovely looking thing, you can get the gold on that. And also the very first, according to Discogs, because I don't really know much more than this, the first to use a female record producer as well, the first record label owned by a woman and the first to use a female producer. So there's that one. This is an unusual thing. Unfortunately it doesn't have a booklet. This is BBC Transcription Services. BBC Radio presents Matrix H, and on the other side it presents a broadcasting matrix. Now in 1977 the BBC transmitted some programmes throughout the whole year on Radio 3 and 4, I think a little on Radio 1, in quadrophonic, using FM band, just to get an idea of what people thought and if it worked. A lot of people though didn't really have the decoders, so it wasn't really hugely successful. Oh, great idea though, to have quadrophonic radio. Like we'd have surround sound radio now, that would be a marvellous thing. This record actually has all sorts of stuff on it. There's a few classical pieces, there's a really unusual avant-garde piece, there's a couple of kind of middle of the road sort of rock numbers, an unusual thing, and obviously it's a quadrophonic disc. I can't play quadrophonic, I haven't got a system anymore. But an unusual disc, not something you see every day. There's some unusual music. It's a bit like a library record, actually. All sorts of twists and turns on that one. And talking of twists and turns, I showed this a couple of years back. You see, this is one you could actually and maybe would want to buy. B.J. Cole, The New Hovering Dog. This is all over the place. It's funny because it has a sort of a seamlessness to it, and yet a completely bizarre feel to the album. It's on United Artists. And you see the steel guitar, synthesizer. There's all sorts of people on here. You can see this huge lineup. Some fairly big names on here. It starts off with like a strings and the music is really quite majestic. There's some unusual stuff though. The whole album ends on a synthesizer piece, just solely synthesizer. There's steel guitar on it. Tristram Fry's on here, on percussion. There's a typewriter used. There's just all sorts of stuff. It's very progressive at times. The only really bad track on here is the last one on side one. It's a stupid little country boogie throwaway thing. Fortunately, it's a short number, and also at the end, so you can get up and get it off. But this is a really unusual record. I recommend if you're looking for anything slightly off the wall, but not. I mean, it is way off the wall in some ways. But the music still has enough about it to kind of keep you interested. It just goes left turn, right turn. You're just all over the place. But like I say, it's a funny seamlessness to it as well. It's an unusual album and worth checking out. It's an unusual thing with very as well. Okay, I showed this on a stream once. This is 6 Million in Heaven, 3 Million in Hell. Shlomo Carlebach. There he is. This is obviously a Jewish record. It's a soundtrack to a film, a really obscure film. You can tell from the cover what it's about. The music is unusually and strangely kind of uplifting. But if you'll bear with me, I'm going to read this little bit on the back here. Dedicated to Jerusalem, the city of God, the heart of the world, the soul of Israel. To Jerusalem, which is built with the fire of Auschwitz and the snow of Siberia, with every tear, with every prayer, with every song, with every dance. The city where man was first created and ultimately all of mankind will become human again. The city where man first prayed and where on the great day the whole world will pray together. The city where the river of tears began and where on the great day the tears will begin to dance. To the city where God is nearest, the whole world closest, the city of peace. To Jerusalem, to those who died for Jerusalem, to those who dream of Jerusalem, to those who live for Jerusalem. To the 6 million who are our soul, to the 3 million who are our dream. To Jerusalem, which is our life. I will not rest until the 6 million rebuild the holy temple. I will not be happy until the whole world dances in Jerusalem. We met on the way, we will meet again, soon, in Jerusalem. Whether you're a Jew or not, or whether you believe the same things or not, is this kind of neither here nor there. You get the sense of what that man believes and the power and the passion of what it means to these people to one day be reunited with their God in Jerusalem. Powerful stuff. Now on a similar, these are records I'm showing for just obscurity value. John Taverner, who did The Whale on the Apple label, composed that fairly famous piece of music. Occasionally I find his stuff very, you find his CDs occasionally. I've never ever seen these records before. This is on the Icon label, which must be you think he was Catholic, but he's actually part of or he became until he died fairly recently, part of a Russian Orthodox church in 1977, and a lot of his pieces after that were always a kind of striving for sublimity and like a spiritual purity in his music and perfection. This is the Orthodox Vigil service. Never seen it before. I don't think I've seen it for sale even on eBay or on the internet. Just a very unusual record. There's some notes in the back here from him. He's a very interesting character, actually. I saw an interview with him just before he died where he was talking about what he was going to be doing in the future, and then he died about a week later, which was such a shame. Anyway, this one's I'm just showing because I showed this once before, I don't know, years back. I'm just showing it because this is Tansman, a Polish composer you rarely see anything by. It's the first record with any recordings of him, 20th century composer. I'm showing it because, again, it's 1952, a very, very early record on this Decca Gold label, Micro Groove Unbreakable. I'm just showing it because it's just an unusual and quite an interesting record, and the music itself is fantastic. Now then, look away now. I'm going to be showing a few 78s. In this book, we'll call it a book, a folder, I should call it. A few years back I found some 78s, and these are all, well, there's 4 in here, which are Hong Kong pressings. 3 of them are the platters. One was not actually released over here anyway, in this format. And one is Rock and Roll Party by Red Prysock and his orchestra. But to find Made in Hong Kong from American Masters. There we are. Obscure. Not something you see every day. Just showing them because, for me, very interesting. And finally, I'm going to show, I don't think I've ever shown these on here. I did post a picture of 3 of them on Instagram a year or 2 back when I found them. These are Indian 78s, Bollywood, quite collectible. And I'm showing them just because of a wonderful coloured label and the sleeves. These are Urdu, I believe. Now I have played these, although some of these are quite famous and desirable to the people in the know. I just haven't quite connected with me. I've come across some obscure kind of 45s, later stuff, and I've really got into it. It's fantastic. These are quite long, although the rhythms are amazing. But because I'm not really aware of the vocals and what they're singing about, it's quite difficult to get into for me. But I'm just showing these because of these wonderful covers. Look at that. Just one more. Here we go. Okay, in fact there's another one. This is a blue label, Columbia, same bag. Yeah, see, obscure, whether it's interesting or I don't know. I think I'll just show a couple of these, a couple of demo singles. This is for Wise Boys. He really did 1 or 2 singles. My Fortune and Why. Lovely little songs. Is Turn the Page and Dancing Little Clown by the Twisters. And just because I found it earlier, just came across it, a single-sided Neil Sedaka, Run Samson Run. Not a very good song at all, but It was in a little collection. Oh yeah, I like that kind of thing. I haven't seen a green label RCA demo before. Anyway, that was it. Obscure, unusual, borderline interesting. It'd be so good if you've got some more obscure stuff. You know, I've got other things, but maybe slightly, you've probably got more obscure things. Anyway, that's it, and this waffle will end now. See you.